Jack Wighton. Hello and welcome to episode 241 of Fergon the Freak. I'm that bloke from Rugby League Project, Andrew Ferguson. You can find me on Twitter at AndrewRP. Join me as always is the celebratory League Freak, who you can find on Twitter at League Freak. How you going there, mate?
I'm going pretty good. How are you, Andrew?
Not too bad. I've shaved my balls.
Ah, nice. You know what? I've shaved my balls too, and you know how I did that? I went to manscaped.com, and if you put in our exclusive code there, which is NRL, you get 20% off of every single thing that they sell and free shipping. They've got the world's leading products when it comes to manscaping. That's why they're called manscaped.com. There's no other manscaped.com. It's only manscaped.com. So go there, put in our code NRL. You'll have the smoothest balls in the universe. You'll have balls so smooth that scientists will want to study them. So I implore everybody to go there. I personally recommend the Lawnmower 3.0. There's also the Perfect Package 3.0, where you just get everything you need in one box. And so go there, put in our exclusive code to our followers, NRL, free shipping. You get a 30-day money-back guarantee as well. It's fantastic.
You're welcome.
Mm.
Now, obviously tonight we had the Dally M Awards.
Yeah, Jack Wighton won it.
The fuck?
Yeah, Jack Wighton won it.
Man, I didn't even get what was going on.
Oh, sorry.
Jeez, what sort of shit show is this?
It's just a production error. Don't worry about it. Let's just move on, pretend it didn't happen.
Oh. All right. Oh, man, I'm thrown now. What do we do?
Well, do you want to know where it all started?
Yeah, let's go. Because I didn't sit down and watch this, so I was getting all excited about this. What's going on?
Well, I sit down and I think to myself, Dally M night, maybe I should put on Fox League, see the little intro that they've got going. And so NRL 360 is on, and it's Ben Ikin and Paul Kent and some old guy and some angry guy. And they're all sitting there talking about shit. And then all of a sudden they start saying who's won certain awards. And I'm like, wait a minute, this is NRL 360. What are they doing? And they're just announcing awards on there, right? And so they announced like how they've got the moment of the year, and they've got, there was a couple of others they announced on there. And I'm like, this doesn't seem right. Why would the NRL allow their premier awards night to just be half blown on a shit show like NRL 360? And so anyway, the old guy and the angry guy left the set, and they announced the NRL Rookie of the Year, okay? Now, they went through the nominees, and then it was Harry Grant won.
Oh, good.
Harry Grant was there. It was really cool. So they gave him his award.
He was there?
Yeah, he was there with them. So they sit him...
Were the other rookies there?
No. Just Harry Grant.
Right.
So they sit him down, and they say, congratulations, Harry. Are you really going to go to the Storm next year, or are you going to the West Tigers? Because you said you were staying at the West Tigers. So are you going to the Storm or what? And he's like, no, I've got a contract with the Storm. I'm going to go. And they're like, but you didn't say that the other night. And what if Cameron Smith doesn't retire? Will you still turn up? What about Brandon Smith? So they started giving him the third degree while they've given him the fucking Rookie of the Year award, right? But it got... Yeah. But...
Don't let the young fellow celebrate the victory.
No. Why would you do that?
Jesus Christ.
Ridiculous. So, anyway, they kept on talking about all the worst things they could talk about, like Cleary's TikTok video and all that shit. And then the actual Dally M Awards started. Now, as the Dally M Awards are starting, the Daily Telegraph posted every single award winner on their website and left it up there the entire time, knowing that hundreds, if not thousands of people were pointing out that they've just ruined the Dally M Awards, and they didn't care. They ruined it. They didn't give a fuck. So everyone's watching this Dally M Awards show, already knowing who's won. But the Dally M Awards show is pretending that they don't know who's won. So it starts off with
despite the fact that they've already got one of the winners there and none of the other nominees in the room.
Yes.
So clearly they already knew anyway, themselves.
100%.
Further proven by the fact that the Telegraph's printed all the results already.
Pretty much, yeah.
This is
So
like the shittiest Christmas ever.
it's fantastic. So the awards start off with not a bad looking set, but looks a little bit like the Death Star. It's all black and like grey, and it's the NRL CEO, which is what's his name? Something Abdo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So he talked for 6 minutes. All right. He fucking gave a 6-minute speech, and it wasn't
What did he talk about? Let me guess. He said lots of words.
Mm-hmm.
That was it.
He did, yeah. He didn't really say anything. The thing about his speech is he said 2 words at a time and then would put a pause in between them, which really made it really hard to listen to. And he kept on. At one point, he filleted his boss, which I thought was interesting. And then
it takes a skill to fillet and talk at the same time.
Yeah, I was very impressed with that. Really, you got to know where your bread's buttered. And then he started saying things like it was these weird things, like he was saying that the NRL was leading the world with starting up the competition again, which I guess technically you could say they maybe were one of the first to start up again. And then he said they were the world leaders in having fans being represented by cardboard cutouts, which sounds fucking ridiculous, quite honestly. And then
on that,
yeah,
as a bit of a quick separation there,
yeah,
when people signed up to have that fan in the stand cutout thing, there were suggestions that you would get your cardboard cutout at the end of the year.
Yeah,
like it would be sent to your club.
Yeah,
and your club would have them in the crowd for the rest of their games after about round 11, I think it was. And then you could contact your club to get yours back.
Yeah.
My club has not received my cardboard cutout. They don't know where they are.
Oh, really?
And I want mine.
That brings up the question.
Mine is fucking awesome. Like, mine is possibly the best cardboard cutout there is.
Well, yeah, you've got 5 watches in yours one.
Exactly.
Well, imagine if you saw yourself turn up in some Turkish football stadium or something weird. Like you see somebody says, you know what, is this going to sound like a weird question, but did you attend a third division Azerbaijan soccer match?
See, I'm worried that someone's going to take me hostage.
Yeah. Do videos of everyone that they've got the cardboard cutouts of.
Yeah, I want me back. So if anyone knows how I get my cardboard cutout back, obviously I told them that I was a Tigers fan. That I've contacted the Tigers club. I know people there.
Yeah.
That's not me big noting myself. Maybe it is a little, but I know people there, and they've looked around, physically looked around. They said, we don't have a single cardboard cutout here. We don't know where they are or where they went to.
Wow, that's interesting.
Someone help me out here. I want it.
Yeah, we need some information on this.
Exactly. But anyway,
his speech went for 6 minutes, right? So he had a lot to say, but he didn't really say much. And then he said that they're doing a revolutionary world leading cross to players that were in a different place for tonight's broadcast. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure I've seen, crosses to others, sets and stuff.
That's not new.
No, but I think I see what he was talking about, but I'll tell you about that later. So anyway, we had Yvonne Sampson. She did some of the presenting after that. And, of course, we all knew who was going to win everything, so none of it really mattered. And every so often they cross back to the NRL 360 set where they had Ben Eichen, they had Michael Enos, they had Cooper Cronk, and they had Greg Alexander. And they all had to pretend they didn't know who was going to win these awards.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. And
at least they didn't have Paul Kent to go back to, and the other members of the echo chamber.
Yeah.
But if you've got Yvonne Sampson there,
yeah,
why would you depart from her to people that are not her?
I don't know.
It's like you're having a debate on an awards night about stuff that is already a foregone conclusion everybody knows.
It was exactly that. But it got even better, Andrew. You don't even know the best part yet. Oh, so they had Yvonne Sampson, who would announce the winners, And then they had a green screen set up where they made it look like Yvonne Sampson was talking to the players who were standing there. But when I say green screen, I mean like green screen from 1972 when the green screens were just starting to be used. So all the players looked about 5 feet tall compared to Yvonne Sampson. And they looked all like, I don't even like pixelated and sort of weird, and the lighting was wrong. And the background that they had the green screen used really did look like the Death Star, okay? And on top of that, it was like, I mean, I've seen people that play video games on Twitch who set up a green screen in their bedroom and dress up as like, you know, cats and play Japanese RPGs who have better green screen technology than we saw tonight from Fox Sports.
Are you sure that's video games and not RedTube?
But I've seen better, is what I'm saying. Right? So, anyway. So they're doing it.
Good save.
Then they get, right, just, we got to move on from that part. Then they get to naming the coach of the year. And, like, when they're going to name the coach of the year, it's pretty obvious because it's hard to not be the coach of the year when you've rattled off 17 straight victories.
Yes.
And so, you know, it's obviously Ivan Cleary. And Ivan Cleary is in this, you know, wherever the fuck. And they green screen him. But they make him look 4 foot tall. They make him smaller.
Oh.
And they made his son smaller.
Oh.
It's a conspiracy against the Clearys. So, yeah, they went through all of the bullshit like we didn't know all of the results anyway. And then even they got to the last round and, you know, surprise, surprise, Jack Wighton's leading at that point, but we already knew that. And Greg Alexander, God bless him, Brandy, I love ya. But he's like, who would have thought? It's like we all thought, Brandy. We've known for 2 hours. We knew for 2 hours at this point.
Yeah, we didn't thought. We knew.
Yeah.
Thanks to your old mate over at the Telegraph.
Yeah. So crazily enough, Jack Wighton won the Dally M medal, and I'm not. You know, he won it. Whatever. I probably would have thought that Cleary should have won it. There was a funny thing though. Do you remember the last game between the West Tigers and the Parramatta Eels?
Mm-hmm.
Clint Gutherson scored less points from the Dally M's in that game than Luke Brooks did.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's because they give the points to an NRL player in that game.
Oh, shit. Shots fired. One of the highlights of the night was partway through Clint Gutherson talking about, I don't know, being the fullback of the year or some bullshit. He ran his hands through his hair.
Oh, he's been doing that a fair bit.
Yeah, I said he's legally obligated to do it anytime there's a on. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he gets paid a bonus every time he does it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's how he gets up to $800,000 a year from the Eels.
Yeah. It's actually his stats too. If you look it in there, you can check out hair flicks and hair stroking.
Yeah. Oh, I tell you what, Tohu Harris, he had the most beautiful, luscious head of hair I've seen on maybe anyone.
Okay, is it in the realms of Adrian Lamb beard lush?
Yeah, it like
wow.
It's like on that level of like you can't stop staring at it.
That's impressive.
Yeah,
that was one of the most impressive things I saw all year, and one of the most depressing things of the year was when he got rid of that beard. Yeah,
that made me sad in my soul.
Oh yeah, likewise.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he looked like a distinguished Papua New Guinean Gandalf.
Yeah. It's sexy as fuck.
Really did. Distinguished.
All right, so we've got Ivan Cleary as coach of the year. Makes complete sense. Who else is going to get it?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, there was talk of Todd Payton getting it, and I get that, but 17 wins in a row. I mean, how do you not?
And besides, it probably helps if you're coach of the year for the entire year.
That does help quite a bit.
And we've got rookie of the year was Harry Grant.
Yeah, that was pretty straightforward.
Captain of the year.
The captain of the year was Roger Tuivasa-Sheck.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah, same here.
The Proven Summons Medal.
The Proven Summons Medal. I'm just looking at the list here because I can't remember this one.
which usually goes to the People's Choice for Player of the Year. All I remember about this is Nathan Highmarsh had a mortgage on this thing for about a decade.
You still win it all the time.
Yeah.
It's not on my list, and I can't remember who won it.
I'll have a look.
Yeah. Oh, here it is. Here. Oh, no, the Proven Summons medal.
Mm.
I think they changed it a bit.
Ah.
So I feel like they changed it to like feel good stories. So it was like, yeah, that's right. So one of the things I think they put up for it was when Ryan Madison held up Appy Coruscant when he got knocked out a bit. And there were just things. Oh, there was Brenton Aiden when he stood up against those people that were yelling racist stuff to him. So the Proven Summons medal went to all of the New Zealand Warriors.
I thought we had the Peter Frelongos Memorial Award for this stuff.
Yeah, that was announced on NRL 360, and it was really funny because this is so good. You had Ben Eichen and the Three Stooges, and they're talking about what made Peter Frelongos great, and they're saying, oh, people really trusted him as a journalist, and sometimes he wouldn't even say something if he knew about it because he didn't want to hurt players and he really loved the game and stuff. And I'm thinking, so he basically does all of the stuff you cunts don't like doing.
Yeah, what they're saying is he had integrity.
Yeah.
And none of these bastards who claim to look up to him completely defy everything he stood for.
Yeah.
Right.
So the headline moment of the year, which is a Peter Frelongos one, that went to they just gave it to Project Apollo.
The fuck?
Yeah, it was a weird one.
So how can we pull on Peter V'landys' dick one more time this year? Let's give him an award.
Yeah, it was a weird one. It was and they said that it was all him, and like I'm thinking to myself, I'm pretty sure that Todd Greenberg was like in charge right up basically until the game kicked back off, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure Wayne Pearce is the one who was announcing it too.
Yeah. So anyway, they gave the award to Project Apollo.
Well, they should rename it from the Peter Frelongos Award because that's now desecrating his name.
Yeah.
To the Bucket of Vomit Award.
Yeah.
The annual wanking of Peter V'landys' dick award of the year. So this way, Peter always gets an award.
Well, wouldn't the headline of the year be just the general fact that the whole season stopped? Like that is the headline, is that we had to stop the season. Yeah,
but I mean that's not a positive thing that Peter V'landys did.
Yeah,
so you've got to give him an award for something.
True, that's very true.
I'm surprised they didn't give him an award for the TAB Everest.
Yeah, the Golden Cock Award as we call it.
Yeah, they should have given him an award for that instead.
Maybe we should add that to the. Well, we've got the Williams. We don't have the Williams, but the Williams are out there.
Yeah. Nick Tedeschi does those.
Yeah. So there's that. But I guess you could add the Golden Cock to the King of Rugby League Awards, which we'll be announcing at the end of the year.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Okay, let's do that. So anyway, the top try scorer of the Ken Irvine medal. This medal should be awarded and named after Ken Irvine. If you hear Willie Mason talk about it, he doesn't know it's been named after Ken Irvine for years. That went to Alex Johnson. The top point scorer went to Adam Reynolds. The VB Hard Earned Player Award went to Tom Trbojevic and Tohu Harris. The VB Hard Earned Player of the Year Award.
I've never heard of this before.
No, neither have I.
Okay, so you've got to get a sponsor in there.
Yeah, I don't know what it's for.
Right. And so do the players who did you say Jake Trbojevic and Tohu Harris?
Yeah.
Did they get a slab each?
I hope so.
I think that's the only way to do that. If they're going to be full on with this and they're going to go all the way with sponsors in there, they may as well give them a bit of the product.
Well, it really kind of went with the whole night because we'd taken this award and just decided to turn it into a night of whoring shit out.
Yeah.
You know,
what they should have done is said, right, let's get the nominees in here.
Mm.
All of you have to stand still and drink a beer like Stone Cold Steve Austin. And whoever does it best is the winner.
That would have been fucking cool. I would have been on board for that. Who do you reckon
Yeah.
could Sculler be the best in the NRL?
Oh.
Like, someone that could just, like, a monster?
It has to be one of those big fours. I'm going
Yeah.
kick out.
You reckon kick it? So I would think it would be someone like, who could it be?
Actually, Jesse Bromwich.
Yeah.
He'd be really good at breathing out of his nose too, so you can have a fair bit of that gear going at one time.
Oh, shit. Yeah, maybe Jesse Bromwich.
There we go.
Anyway, we're going down a bad path, right?
We are.
Okay, so what else did we have? The Drinkwise Try of the Year, which is fucking hilarious that they've got a Drinkwise Try of the Year.
So the VP Hard Player of the Year was followed by the Drinkwise.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Gamble responsibly. That went to Tony Staggs versus the Dragons. The Yui Tackle of the Year.
Oh.
That went to Josh Papali. He did an ankle tap on Jamal Fogarty.
Fair enough, too, but I mean, do we need to have sponsors' names after all of this?
I know, right? The Rebel NRLW Rookie of the Year.
Fuck off.
I'm serious. It went to Kennedy Sherrington.
Oh, yeah, she's been playing well.
Yeah, I haven't got to see too many women's games. I think I saw one of them, unfortunately, only one of them. The female player of the year was Ali Brigginshaw, which is, I think she's the best player in the world for the women.
Oh, absolutely, and she's made the transition from halfback to lock this year, which is not an easy task considering she's tall and very lean in build. So she's likely to get smashed in the forwards, but she's made the transition pretty well.
The NRLW Try of the Year went to Madison Bartlett, and the NRLW Tackle of the Year went to Hannah Southwell.
No surprises. Yeah. Southwell is the best tackler and has been for ages in the NRLW. No one touches her.
Yeah, she's well deserved of that one.
She's the Nigel Plum of the NRLW.
She really is. She's a hard hitter. So we'll go through the team because they said it's a history-making team because they're naming an entire team and it's history-making because they said that.
Yeah, well, usually it's only one player from each position.
Yeah. But
so they decided to name an entire 13.
Yeah, and it's history-making.
Right.
So, so the best fullback, and this is the NRL, just don't want to confuse anyone when I say this name. The best fullback was Clint Gutherson.
Okay.
The best wingers were David Norfoluma and Josh Adokar.
I take it this is based on the amount of Dally M points they earned.
I believe it is, yeah.
Right.
The best centres were Tony Staggs.
No.
Well, he didn't play that many games, did he?
No one from the Broncos. I'm sorry. No one from the Brisbane Broncos, the NRL team, the men's team, should be in this side. Because even them at their best, they still won the wooden spoon comfortably.
Yeah, they stunk it up.
And it's a side that was in the finals last year.
Mm-hmm.
And no disrespect to Tony Staggs, he is a very good player. He shouldn't be in this side this year.
No, I would agree. I would agree with that. He alongside him was Stephen Crichton.
Yeah, good with that.
Hard to argue with that. Best 5'8", Jack Wighton.
Yeah, I'm not too disappointed with that. I think I can handle that.
Yeah, him and Cameron Munster, I think all year probably the best two.
Yeah.
Best halfback of
Mitchell
the year.
Pearce.
No.
Mitchell Moses.
No.
Oh, I thought I'd go for the two that get wanked about the most.
I know, right? It's the one I wank around about the most. It was Nathan Cleary.
No, that's fair enough.
Yeah, that is. It's hard to argue with that. Best lock of the year, Isaiah Yeo.
No, really?
Yeah, really.
That's awesome.
What about Jason Tomalolo?
I know, but it's just Yo is one of those very quiet, very rarely spoken of players who just busts his backside and does all the hard work and the dirty work no one wants to get into.
Mm-hmm.
I like the fact that someone like him actually finally gets recognition for the hard work they do.
He should be in the New South Wales side, huh?
I'd put him in the extended squad at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The best second rowers, Viliami Kikau
Yep.
and Tohu Harris.
Fully agree.
That's where you saw Tohu Harris's beautiful head of hair. Best props, Josh Papali, hard to argue with that one, and James Fisher-Harris.
No, I can't argue with that. He's had his best season comfortably.
I agree. And the best hooker
Moses and
was...
By.
How'd you know?
Just no. It's a knack.
It was actually a group award. It was Moses and By, Josh Reynolds, and half a dozen other West Tigers players. Benji Marshall.
And everyone else except for Harry Grant.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
They haven't got him there. No, it was one by Cameron Smith.
Yeah, that's fair enough too.
Yeah. So I think we've gone through everyone. The Dally M medal itself come down to, it was Jack Wighton, Nathan Cleary, and Clint Gutherson. And
so, how did they make an event out of, who was going to be the winner? How do you build suspense over that, especially when most of the people who are watching online already know the winner? How did Fox Sports decide, right, we need to somehow, we can't all be in the same room together with all the players there?
Oh, they were. So
Who were?
So Yvonne Sampson is in her own room.
Mm-hmm.
In some other room, they had a chair, like a round, a round sort of fucking lounge. And it had Clint Gutherson on it. It had Nathan Cleary. It had Jack Wighton. It had James Tedesco. And it had Luke Keary on it.
The fuck?
Yeah. And they all sort of sat there as the countdown went on.
Just those 5 players?
Yeah, just those 5.
They've been asked to come in and sit on a lounge?
Yeah. Aren't you upset that you missed all of this? It was fucking terrible.
This is bad even if you don't know the result, because you look at that and go, well, clearly they know the result because they've asked 5 specific players to come in and sit on a lounge together.
Yeah.
Now we know who the final 5 are going to be.
Yeah. It was really weird. I tweeted during the whole thing that it was so bad and had been ruined so much that it was like, let's just not do this again. Let's just scrap the Dally M's, because it was just a farce.
Man.
And then they wrapped it up really quickly. There was a little speech by Peter V'landys in there at one point. I didn't pay attention to it because I don't really care.
Did you talk about the Everest?
I really don't know. I wasn't paying attention to him. I don't even know if he said rugby league correctly this time, but,
He's probably had some elocution lessons to make sure he says it correctly.
Probably. But, and then they wrapped it up, and then they replayed the entire thing from the very beginning straight away again.
As you do.
Yeah.
So,
but by then I really did know the result. So,
I'm disappointed that there's a few awards there that didn't get a mention.
What like?
Well, the lazy boy worst tackle attempt of the year. That should have gone to Darius Boyd. Because there's about three or 4 times per week where he'd just take a seat in the lazy boy and just kick right back in those grand recliners and just watch players run past him.
What about the Chemist Warehouse You Pissed Hot This Year award?
Who are you giving that to? There's a few nominees.
Yeah, well, I tend to... I have to go with Bronson Cherry for that one. I mean, I know that Michael Jennings pissed hot as well, but to go on TV and brag about being faster this year because you're working so much harder and then you piss hot like a week later, there's something special about that.
That's true. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I can give credit to that one.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of another good one we could have. I burned all my good ones early.
Yeah.
I only had one.
What about... there's got to be some good ones here. Come on. What about the... I can't do that one.
How about the Wally Lewis Best Queensland 5/8 Player of the Year? And you go to Ash Taylor.
Ash Taylor, yeah.
Finally, someone from the Gold Coast gets their due rewards.
There was a really weird thing before it when on the NRL 360 portion of it all when they're giving out awards, and they were talking about Cameron Smith and like should he retire and all this stuff. And of course, there's an angry guy there. I don't know his name. I think he's a blogger, and he was saying how he thinks he's playing well enough to keep playing on, which is funny because this guy blogs the complete opposite. And then the old guy said that he doesn't understand this talk about him going to the Gold Coast because the Gold Coast have so many players that are on so much money. And they all sort of agreed with each other with this weird nod and congratulated each other on their own opinions.
As they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's. Was it a bald person, the angry blogger?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's who doing it.
Yeah.
Was he yelling?
He was a little bit calm today. He was a bit calm.
Yeah, but he still would have had a loud voice.
Yeah, he's still fucking angry at it all.
I swear he's got industrial deafness from listening to himself.
Most likely. What was the really stupid thing? He did an article today that was really, really stupid that everyone was taking the piss out of. Let's see. Fox Sports. It was like...
Well, again.
Yeah. What was it? Come on, where is it? Oh, man. I can't find it. But yeah, he tweeted something that was so stupid. It just everyone took the piss out of it. I just can't find it on here. But anyway, it was horrible. You missed like 2.5 hours of the hardest, most cringeworthy rugby league related television I've ever seen.
I'm disappointed I missed it all.
Yeah.
It sounds like the greatest farce I've ever heard of.
It really is. You've got to see the green screen stuff they did. It was so bad.
Yeah, this is nuts. This is nuts.
And on top of it all, the Daily Telegraph had already ruined it and put the results out. And like the NRL's trying to pretend that, so the NRL's tweeting like we don't all know the results. So I just kept on tweeting, replying to them saying we know who won. And they were saying all the players are laughing to each other. And I'm like, yeah, they're laughing because they know who won it. They knew it 2 hours ago. Yeah.
Well, let's get into this. I wouldn't really call it elephant in the corner or elephant in the room.
Mm-hmm.
It is the fucking room. Obviously, what the NRL does is they give the media, probably just News Limited, the results so that they can get the story out in time for their deadline so it can be printed in the paper the next day.
Yeah.
I've got a solution here to avoid this sort of a drama next time.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't tell anyone.
That would be pretty cool, eh?
Yeah. And if the NRL wants to make sure that people know the result the very next day, you've got your own media outlet, put it up on the fucking website.
Yeah,
if the media wants to know,
yeah,
they can wait 2 hours and hold up production for 2 hours to get the full result, and then they can produce it.
Well, what if the Daily M's started at 6 p.m?
Well, there's another solution.
You know, that I don't see any reason why it needs to be on at a different time.
No. I also don't see why, of all the people, that stupid old prick Phil Rothfield is the one who needs to be the one writing the story about it. What has he done for the game in the last 10 years that's positive and of value, other than bitch and moan about it and shit on it from a great height constantly?
Well, I said that I thought that News Limited on all of their writers should have their accreditation revoked because let's be honest, if this is supposed to be a prestigious award, and it's hard to say that it was going by tonight's absolute farce, they completely ruined it. They completely ruined the night. They turned it into a joke. It's not like it was up there for a minute or two. They left it up for the entire time and then apologised after it and said it was a production issue, which is bullshit. Like, you post something, you post it. I understand that this year they had a lot of moving parts to get together and they wanted to sort of have the winners there and stuff. And so to a certain extent, they had to spoil, who won what at certain times to certain people. But for everyone to know who the winners were, and for it to be ruined like this by a media organisation who'd been given this information, I think there's got to be repercussions for it.
Look, I can't see any reason why they can't do something that they used to do.
Yeah.
With grand finals, you just cut to the fucking leagues club. And every leagues club will have all of their players sitting down there watching. And then for the instances such as the Storm and the Warriors, they could go to a different leagues club somewhere based on where they're currently playing.
Mm-hmm.
And they'd all be there watching.
Mm-hmm.
And they can all be there and none of them can know. And they can all watch it live just like everybody else.
Mm.
That way you get a genuine response. Everyone's still in attendance, but still not in the same room, so they're still in their bubble. They're still isolated. Why couldn't they have just done that?
It's a good question, and I mean, it wouldn't even be every team. Like, the Gold Coast didn't win any awards. The West Tigers won one award. I'm trying to think. Canterbury players didn't win any awards.
Tigers got 2 awards.
Oh, yeah, 2 awards. That's right. Harry Grant as well. So it's not even as though they would have needed every team. They would only need a few teams. And I would suggest that, you could even double up with some of the players. I mean, you could have, say, Parramatta and Penrith players at the same place or whatever. But yeah, surely there was a better way to do it than this. It just seemed like this was all an afterthought.
Well, yeah, and it's because they've done it the way they have. It also made it very clear that they knew who won. Even if the shit on the Daily Telly didn't happen. The fact that they've got 5 people sitting in the studio as they're reading the last counts, and all those 5 players just happen to be the final 5 on the count, tells you more than enough that they knew who won it, and that ruins the whole. This is going to sound weird. It ruins the whole romance of it because you know that they already know the winner.
Yeah,
takes all the thrill and excitement out of it.
Yeah, and I mean,
you're watching a foregone conclusion. You're just trying to figure out which of the final 5 have got it instead of going, I wonder if this person's going to come from nowhere and win in the last 3 rounds or something.
Yeah, exactly.
No, doesn't happen. It's going to be one of these 5 blokes.
And I kind of felt sorry for Luke Cleary because you kind of knew he wasn't going to win it. And James Tedesco, he was in with a shot, I guess. Look, I think that Nathan Cleary should have won it, but, Jack Wighton, when they won games there at Canberra, he was normally one of their 2 best players.
Well, I see on the Fox Sports website now, they've got the Temerity out there and bitch and moan about the result.
Oh, really?
And they said, Clint Gutherson was robbed. How did he not score a point in the game against the Tigers? Well, he didn't.
I mean, you or me have talked about the Dally M's before on here. I know I've said, I just, how much can you put into an award that Darren Lockyer didn't win when it's supposed to be about consistency and consistently being the best player, and Darren Lockyer didn't win it? I've just got a problem with it straight away.
Yeah.
And it's I mean, who are the judges? There's been games this year where I've seen the Dally M points and been like, what the fuck game were they watching?
Well, this is the thing is they get a whole range of judges. Why can't they just have 5 judges for every single game? The same 5 every single game.
Yeah.
And they tally up all of the points, so they all judge independently. They don't see what each other's done. And whoever, they add up all the points that they've awarded across the 5 of them. Whoever the top 3 are, they get the points.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Just bang like that. And they just
Something
do that
like
every single game. That way you've got the same judging panel. Adds a bit more consistency to it. I don't know. Just something needs to be looked at there. I'd like to see them have a referee in the panel.
Mm-hmm.
No one from the media.
Yeah, there shouldn't be any media people in it.
No, because they don't talk about the game. They talk about the shit off the field.
Yeah.
And they bitch and moan and whinge.
Mm-hmm.
Some former players, obviously. But, it's got to be something along those lines. But I'd like to see a referee in there because you're going to be getting who they deem to be a fair player.
Yeah.
You're going to get an actual former player on there, or some former players on there. We'll be able to judge them based on their contribution to the team and what they do on the field, stuff like that. Get a forward in there.
Mm-hmm.
Because too often when they put judging panels like this together, they always put playmakers on there.
Yeah.
So they look at other playmakers. They don't look at what props do.
Yep.
So, mix it up with stuff like that.
I tell you what, because the NRL, when the NRL become independent from News Limited, it got the Dally M awards back. It kind of was part of the negotiation process. It needs to completely be an NRL award. Yeah. And they need to completely get rid of the News Limited influence out of it. I don't think there should be a Peter Frolingoss award. I had no problems with Peter Frolingoss. I actually think he was pretty good rugby league journo.
He was very good, and I don't mind if there's a Peter Frolingoss one, but it has to be about something that was a positive headline moment in the game.
Mm.
And Project Apollo wasn't. That was a necessity.
Yeah.
That was something that had to happen.
Yeah. And, the restarting of the NRL is talked up mythically for some reason when every other sport in the whole world has restarted as well.
And I've said this before, people talk about it as though it's a great achievement of Peter V'landys, and I keep saying to him, a frog could have got the game restarted because we've seen pretty poor administrations in other sports around the world able to get their game up and running.
Mm.
If you're hanging your hat on Peter V'landys being better than a bunch of idiots, it's not really painting V'landys in the positive light that you're trying to make out.
Yeah, I agree.
So, I don't know.
The whole night was just really
farcical.
cheap. It really was. I know the word fast gets used a lot, but it really was. I mean, we knew who won it. The production was trash. The whole thing was just like I said that it was like a comedy sketch. That's sort of come across like, and it was the sort of thing that I think pretty much everyone should be embarrassed.
Yeah.
Which sucks. I mean, Dally M night isn't always the most exciting night in rugby league, but, it's a night where you award players for their achievements on the field, and I think the players deserved better tonight. I guess that's where I'm going with all of this.
Yeah, I think after this, they need to figure out. I think the first thing they need to do, the NRL, is say, right, we're going to keep the result of every single award in-house.
Mm-hmm.
No one's going to know until the final votes are counted.
Mm-hmm.
It shouldn't be the NRL's concern whether the Daily Telegraph meets their deadline or not.
No.
If they don't meet it, stiff shit. Like, the NRL's got their own media arm. They can advertise the results and the winners on there as they freely please. The Daily Telegraph doesn't like it. What are they going to do?
Yeah, I mean...
Bitch and moan? Like, that doesn't happen already.
But how many people are honestly buying the Daily Telegraph tomorrow and opening it and going, oh, Jack Wighton won it, huh? Like, who are you really servicing? Like, I think like you said, they should use their in-house. They've got a whole production thing in-house. They've got a website. They've got all of the Facebook pages. They could have a huge live production that is all run by the NRL. And that's what they really should be doing with all of this stuff.
Yeah, I fully agree. It's there. They might as well go for it.
I have a question for you. The Dally M, you've got the Dally M medal and the Players Association medal. I think when the Players Association started getting traction and started their own awards, I was like, well, what does this really mean? I'm starting to lean towards the Players Association award meaning more than the Dally M medal. What do you think?
No, I've always thought the RLPA ones they had a bit more legitimacy about it because I'm pretty sure it's voted on by the players.
Okay.
So it's who the players think, and I mean, yeah, who better than your own peers to determine who the best is?
Yeah. And we've seen...
As opposed to a whole heap of journos, and they're former players / journos, and they've all got their own biases.
Mm-hmm.
This is not a criticism, okay? It's just what happens, okay? Everyone's got bias, and it's going to be towards clubs that they've played for, clubs they've got on well with, against clubs they didn't like playing against, or clubs they don't like, blah, 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 blah. And then there's also bias towards players who are in your position because you can judge, as a prop, you've got a better understanding what other props have to do in a game to be good.
Mm-hmm.
But your idea of what a halfback has to do in a game between a halfback playing fantastic and a halfback playing good, you've got no idea on that because it's not a job you did.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard to get a selection panel for every game that covers every aspect of what goes on in a game that's going to be able to do the job properly.
Mm-hmm.
And half the time, when they're not sure, they fall back on statistics.
Mm-hmm.
And rugby league is a game where statistics tell part of the story. A lot of other sports have a lot more in-depth data. Basketball is a good example.
Yeah.
You can track how good a player is using stats because they've got a lot of very in-depth stats there, and they all link in very well with performance.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot harder to do that in rugby league.
Yeah.
And, giving people an award for, based on stats like, how many hit-ups, run meters, tackles they did, sure, that's pretty decent. But, how many times were they involved in stopping a play, a try-scoring opportunity perhaps, or, were out of position in defence? When they're out of position, that doesn't get caught up as a missed tackle.
Exactly.
And there's a lot of things like that which just can't be recorded statistically.
Yeah, bad reads in defence is another one where, you can be in the line and make a completely terrible read in defence and open up a massive hole. It doesn't get counted as a mistake. It doesn't get counted as a missed tackle. And
exactly.
And yet you're the one that was the breakdown in the defensive line.
Exactly right. And so that's the problem with it. And other things are, there are a lot of players who run really, really good decoy lines.
Mm-hmm.
And it creates opportunities, it creates an extra man because the defender straightens up.
Yep.
And all of a sudden your defensive line stops sliding while the attack is. And that creates the extra player. And that comes down to a really good running line by a decoy runner. Kick-out runs very good decoy lines.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I mean, he's a really good example. If there was a statistic for how many players were drawn out of a defensive line or that the defense panicked for a player that didn't ever get the ball, Kick-out would be leading it by many, many times. Like how many times this year did we see Kick-out getting absolutely smashed by two players off the ball, and it led to everyone else at the Panthers scoring? Like, poor bugger, there's some games he was getting belted in. Didn't really look like he was doing much himself with the ball in hand, but he was making opportunities for everyone else. There's no stat for that.
Exactly. Nelson Asafa Solomon is another one who does it.
Mm-hmm.
Cameron Smith's been using him as a decoy runner for a while now and does it very well because just when the opposition thinks, he's going to be a decoy runner again, Smith dishes him the ball and he scores.
Yeah.
So that's another thing that doesn't get recorded too well, if at all.
And that's the
problem with using stats all the time. And you just know that sometimes these judges are using stats. They fall back on them when they can't figure out, who to give points to.
Yeah, and another thing is with the stats that come, and you've brought this up before, the stats that come from returning kickoffs for forwards, the meters gained from that, and the meters gained by some fullbacks and wingers compared to someone like a Jason Taumalolo who is making those meters through the middle of a defence and is pushing people back and standing in tackles and stuff. And yet you see someone like an Aaron Woods who, and you've talked about, you pointed this out to me actually, where he would make all of these meters and it was from a lot of kick returns, from kickoff returns.
Yeah, it'd be like a gift 20 metres every time. And if you get 3 or 4 of those from you've conceded 3 or 4 tries, or you've scored 3 or 4 tries, bam, there's 60, 70 metres.
Yeah.
And uncontested 60, 70 metres.
And the tackles too, like the difference between somebody that puts an opposition player on their ass and somebody who just comes in and cuddles the opposition as a third man in.
Exactly. I mean, that's another one. Like when you look at tackle counts, if you saw Luke Brooks and Nigel Plum both had 20 tackles in a game, that's all you see. They just both made 20 tackles. Who would you rather get tackled by, Luke Brooks or Nigel Plum?
Exactly. I used to think that about, remember there was a few years there where, and he was a good player, I'm not bagging him, but Richard Swain was breaking tackle records, and people were like, oh my God, he's such a great defender, and it's like, he's getting through a lot of work, but who's worried about running at Richard Swain?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of players aren't worried about running at hookers, but that's the thing is that, Cameron Smith and Robbie Farah are both very similar where sometimes they'll take the first impact, but the job is to sort of wrap the ball up and wait for a second defender to come in to help finish the job off. And that's what they do. It's slightly advanced tackle technique to what most halfbacks do. A lot of halfbacks just try and get in the way and hope someone helps them. The hookers generally try and wrap the ball up first to stop the play, stop the second phase play and wait for a second defender to come in and finish the job off.
It makes me wonder if there's, and I'm sure that the teams would have this information, if there's a way to break down the statistics that we see as fans, if you overlay that with the GPS data that the players have from the GPS that's in their jersey. I wonder if there's a way to put those two together that it would refine the statistics a little bit more, and you'd be able to see who is making the more effective go forward meters for the forwards, or, who's actually making the most ground as a winger or fullback when they're running the ball back rather than running across field, things like that.
Yeah, that's the thing. And it'd be good to see that sort of stuff. There's a lot more work that needs to be done with the in-depth data. They've got a very good base at the moment. There's a lot more they can add to it. And I believe that the NRL does have some more in-depth data, which isn't public yet, because I think they're still working on it and refining it. Yeah. So there could be more to come.
I mean, I would think that a lot of data around your dummy half, and there must be data that you could take out of the GPS readings where you see where a dummy half either clears the ball quicker than other players, or they get, how some dummy halves will pick the ball up and get out towards the line a little bit before they put the ball on. And it's just another meter, another extra meter every time.
They've been working on that one with line engaged, I think, where that's where you take the ball to the line and you get a defender to come to you, but you keep the play going. So I think that comes under line engaged, but it still needs work, I believe.
And I mean, I guess you really need the data from every player on the field to get the stats you really want to get to at the end, and I wonder how many teams are really hesitant to give that data over. I mean, I would guess they all would be.
Well, that's the other thing too, is they need to get into data where you're looking at combinations as well. How many times does one player pass to this player? And how many times does that lead to a point scoring play? Those sort of things as well. There's a lot of work they can do with the data to make it a lot more intricate, a lot more detailed, and tell a much more deeper story. Yeah. So, yeah. Obviously, we don't want to get too bogged down in stats because it'll bore the shit out of everyone.
Yeah. This is the sort of thing you and me could talk about for fucking
Oh
hours.
yeah, I'd do it. If I had my own podcast, I'd do this for hours.
Yeah. Normally we don't record these conversations. It's like, oh, yeah, what if you did this? And then they're like 3.5 hours later and it's 3 a.m. and we're like, man, fuck, we've been talking about this for hours.
Talking about stats.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, was there anything else? I'll tell you what, there's a little bit of news we can go through.
Yeah, what's the news?
Well, I saw an article earlier which said that James Tomo said he'd almost retired, and I went, no wonder the Tigers signed him.
Well, he was thinking about not playing rugby league anymore and decided that he would for the Tigers. I mean, what's wrong with that?
The Tigers said, don't retire, we'll give you coin. He's like, you know what, I could do with a bit more super.
He's playing all right, though. That's the thing.
He is playing all right.
Yeah.
But if you've got a player who's thinking about retiring, why would you give them a job?
Yeah, I'd worry about that.
But no, I think he's going to be a good signing, and a forward leader, which is helpful. As we do have some young forwards there, and they are good, but they do need a little bit of assistance, especially in defence, in the middle, a lot.
What do you think of the grand final build-up so far?
It's been a bit meh.
I feel the same way, hey. I think that it's been quiet.
Very quiet.
I feel like the Storm they're up in Queensland and they're sort of keeping their heads down a little bit, which makes sense. I understand that. And I think that the media that we've seen around the Panthers is, it's a little bit like the media we've seen the last few weeks, where media types are sort of like, oh, I guess we really should talk about the Panthers. What can we say? Let's ask them about how they grew up. Like, how many fucking stories do we need to hear about how the Panthers players grew up?
Oh, it's going to happen.
Ah, fuck.
Every
It's
single
like,
one.
I'm sick of hearing of their fucking childhood stories. I don't care.
The thing that's going to happen very soon, as we get closer to the game, is you'll hear more and more talk get louder and louder about Panthers a dual loss.
Yeah.
And, the young guns haven't been tried at this level before. And you go up against those experienced Melbourne Storm players, of which there's only 3 or 4 experienced Storm players in there. But let's not get that. Let that get in the way of the good story.
I heard someone from the Panthers. I don't know who it was on the radio. I missed who it was. And the people on the radio were saying, oh, the Panthers don't have experience. And they were like, well, we got Tamo, he's been to grand final. We got Coruscant, who's been in grand final. And we got Tedavano, he's been in grand final team. And we've got we've got Origin players and Test players, and they just rattled off so many players that had all these sorts of experiences. And it's like, yeah, when you break it down, like, these players, it's not like they're all rookies.
Nope.
What?
They've got experience.
Yeah.
And I know we've seen before, like, sure, experience is very helpful. There's no doubt about it. But it's not the be-all and end-all.
Yeah.
Penrith in 2003 won a premiership. Tigers in 2005 won a premiership. They weren't exactly plumb with experienced players in, big game footy.
Yep.
They had some players there, obviously. Every team's got them, but they weren't exactly overstocked with them. And they got the job done. So there's no reason why the Panthers can't do it this year.
No, I'm really looking forward to the game. I'm not nervous about it yet. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. But yeah, I think the build-up hasn't been where I've wanted it to be yet. But I also think that some of that will come down to the fact that you can't be in front of big crowds of people, unfortunately. And I think a lot of the things that you would normally see the NRL do for build-up, they can't really do this year, unfortunately. Like, I saw their grand final week, lineup of events, and it was like the Storm had an open training session, which was like about an hour and a half after when they put the thing out for it. And then the Panthers have one, I think, tomorrow or today if you're listening to this podcast. And then the next thing was like, it was, might have actually been grand final. Oh, no, it was they're lighting up the Harbour Bridge, and then it was grand final day, and that was it. But that's all they can really do.
Yeah. Is Gladys involved with lighting up the bridge?
That's a good question. Who knows what the fuck she's doing? Like, man, that's a whole crazy situation.
I can't say anything bad about her. She's a fan of Wagga people.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say.
She likes the area.
We're charming people.
Apparently.
And I won't go any further into that. I don't want to get I don't want to reveal too much intimate details about us people from Wagga, but there's a reason why she went for Daryl.
Oh, jeez.
Meaty. Come on, he's a good looking rooster.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so lighting up the Harbour Bridge, eh?
Yeah, they're going to light up the pylons. I guess one's going to be the Panthers player. And
you know what they used to do?
What?
Like way back when. They used to have yacht races.
Really?
Around Sydney Harbour.
Yacht races to celebrate grand final week?
Yeah, you get out there and have a race on a yacht.
And the players would be involved, would they?
Some players would get out there, yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that. When did that stop happening?
Oh, God, I can't remember.
1909.
Well, see, I think a lot of it come down to the fact that Daily Messenger himself was a pretty good boatsman.
Ah, right.
And he was pretty good on yachts.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of a bit of a tribute, I guess, to him. And also to James Giltnan, who used to be a president of the New South Wales Yachting Association or something along those lines.
Okay.
He had a pretty major role with them as well after he got unceremoniously dumped from the New South Wales Rugby League in 1909.
Wow, I had no idea they used to do that. That's incredible.
There you go. So they get out there and bring the boats back out. Don't have to have a race, but just bring some boats out and sail around the harbour. That
would be pretty cool. I remember they'd have the grand final breakfast, and I never understood that because the players hated it. And like as a fan, you would have to, get up early and watch the grand final breakfast bleary-eyed and kind of, it was just something everyone didn't like. I was glad when they got rid of that.
Yeah, I never understood that. Like, why are we celebrating people eating like bacon and eggs?
I think they moved it to later on, and then they sort of scrapped it and brought in the fan celebration.
Like the grand final brunch.
Grand final brunch. I don't mind a grand final brunch, but not breakfast.
Breakfast is just right. I mean, got to get out of bed early.
Yeah.
Getting dressed in a suit to eat eggs. That's just a recipe for disaster, that is.
Yes, just so dumb.
Especially if someone goes and gives you bloody runny eggs.
And then
shit all over the front of your tie.
Exactly. And then it's like, you got to eat what some fucker's prepared for you. It's like, no. My body's a temple, bruh.
And they get you out there and they give you those crappy, free-range eggs. You go, no, I want those cage-free fuckers. Give me some caged eggs. I want to know that these bastards were worked hard for that bum nut.
Well, when they give you like some sort of sausage and they say, oh, it's a turkey sausage or something like that. And it's like, you can call it whatever you want. This thing's dry as fuck and tiny. It's terrible. Take it away.
Yeah, I like my sausages made of cow, please.
I like my sausages made of pig.
Well, those two are good.
Yeah.
Yeah. None of this chicken sausage caper.
Yes. Sometimes you can get a good chicken sausage, but, if it's a breakfast, make it a proper breakfast.
Exactly.
Give me some hash browns.
What they need is one of those old mobile fast food, restaurant type breakfasts.
Okay, here's a question for you. I say to you, it's grand final breakfast, Andrew Ferguson, and you're invited. What do you actually want for breakfast?
As a 20-year-old football player?
No. As you right now.
As me right now? I don't eat much breakfast now. I'll give you a better answer as a 20-year-old football player.
Okay, as a 20-year-old football player, what would you want?
All right, 4 eggs.
Yep.
probably 2 rashers of bacon for each egg.
Mm-hmm.
2 or 3 sausages.
Mm-hmm.
Juice.
Mm-hmm.
And some more juice. Some toast. Vegemite on toast. Yeah, what else would you want? That's pretty much a decent enough feed without getting full, isn't it?
Fuck.
Maybe some hash browns.
See, if somebody said to me, "You're invited to the grand final breakfast, the Glorious League Freak," I would say I want all the black coffee you can give me, and then I just want like chocolate donuts, or jam-filled donuts, one of the two. Surprise me. Yeah. That's what I'd say. Surprise me.
Nothing like a good jam-filled donut.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. Tell me about that before the podcast.
Yes. Yeah, I think nowadays I'd probably have a drink of milk for breakfast.
Yeah?
That's about it. That's if I bother.
Yeah.
I'm not a breakfast person.
I'm not really a breakfast person either.
I usually just wake up and go, right, let's get to work.
I normally eat one meal a day, and it's a Porto, so...
That's an important meal.
It is, yeah. When I get to a Porto o'clock, and I go and get my Porto and eat it, and I'm like, yeah, job done.
I can't argue with that. I wish I had a Porto near where I worked.
Well, even if, I guess, do you have one within 5 kilometres?
No.
Damn it.
But the restriction's been eased. It's 25 kilometres, so I do have, I think, 2 within 25 Ks.
Oh, that's pretty handy.
So you know what I'm up to this weekend?
Oh, yeah.
I've got to see an old friend.
Imagine if you got to, like, you went there, and because everyone is now out of restrictions for 5 kilometres and it's 25 Ks, everyone just went to whatever their favourite takeout was that they couldn't get within 5 Ks.
Yeah. Everyone will be going to a Porto. The queue will be out the door and out the road, along the road through the car park, up the main road, because everyone's got to stand 1.5 meters apart.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And it'll be the only time people will be happily standing in a queue, because they know they're going to get themselves some Porto.
You know, they brought in, like, lower restrictions in New South Wales, so they were like, you can have 200 people at a wedding, but you still had to only have one person for every 2 square meters or something. It's like, first of all, who are these fucking cunts that are having 200 people at a wedding? Like, please, just pump the brakes, And secondly, how the hell are you supposed to keep them apart like that?
With a stick.
Yeah, with a big whacking stick. That'd be good.
Absolutely.
Cattle prod.
I'd use the driver.
Yeah.
Because I can't hit any golf balls with it in the right direction, so I've got to find a better use for it.
Do you reckon everyone's got to walk around and spin their arms? When you're a kid and you're like, I'm just walking. If you get in the way, it's your problem.
That's the solution.
Yeah, that would be good.
See, the driver is a good length.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you hold it out, that's a good 1.5 meters.
Yeah,
if someone comes near it, you just smack them in the face with it.
You're protecting yourself.
There's more where that come from. Keep out of my face, you COVID-riddled fucking thing.
Bloody scumbag.
Yeah.
Do you reckon that brides have to wear a mask under their veil?
Yes.
Good.
What sort of mask are we talking? This is going to get a bit blue. Maybe we should move away.
Yes, please move on.
I said something was going south real bad. Real quick.
Yeah. My brain started ticking, and it's not good.
Yeah, so I've got answers. No, don't share.
I actually had a tweet to add tonight where I was like, no, that's one that you say to a friend. That's not one that you tweet.
Yeah. You say that like someone has been down that path recently already.
About 1,000 times before. Hey, have you seen that thing that they're promoting on Fox Sports where it's like a massager?
No, I did see your tweet about that.
Yeah.
So I need to see the ad.
You need to see the ad, and you tell me when you see the ad whether or not I'm right or not.
I'm willing to back your judgment, but yeah, I'll have a look at the ad and get back to you.
Yeah. I don't know why my brain just goes straight there. Hey, there's a problem.
Well, you do aim to please.
Yes. Sure do.
I guess that's what we can take from that.
Let's wrap this up before we get in trouble.
Yeah, I was going to say now, look, you did touch on it earlier, and that is League Freak does have his very own awards.
Yes.
But unlike the Dally M's, his international awards, and they're done at the end of the year when all the footy's said and done for.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll let you know when that's coming out. But yeah, pretty big awards, not that one.
Yeah, it will be at least after the State of Origin and after the Super League, even if that continues long after Origin.
You know what's going to be good is if there's no more international football.
Yep.
The International Player of the Year is going to be an absolute cracker this year.
Yeah, you're right. You know what? And we watched him.
We did.
Holy crap, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's going to be sensational. I'm so excited about that.
So that's a pretty good one to look forward to.
I think I know who I would pick. Is it that who okay. Would you pick that big dude?
From Germany, yeah.
Yeah, so would I.
Yeah, I think I was calling him the German Luke Lewis.
Yeah.
He was a beast.
Oh, this is great. Oh, that's awesome.
That's going to be the greatest International Player of the Year award winner ever.
That it really is.
You know what would be good? If they stick with the Golden Boot being international football, he's a chance of getting the Golden Boot this year.
Okay, now here's the thing, right? Here's the thing, Andrew. You watch what they fucking do with that award. The goalposts will move again.
It'll be the Golden Boot will go to whoever can eat the most tuna and corn pizza in a session.
But do you reckon there's a possibility? I don't know that they can do this quick enough, but do you reckon there's a possibility that the Rugby Football League, they're like, look, we got this award, we got to give it to why don't we just put together a game between England and Wales or someone like that? Do you reckon they might do that?
They probably would.
I wouldn't be shocked if they did.
They probably would.
Oh, man. I'm so excited for all that now.
So that was what I was thinking about. Oh, but yeah, that's going to be an awesome one to name.
Yeah, because I don't know about you. I've been thinking, like, who would I give it to at this stage? And it changes as the year goes on because players go in form and out of form and stuff like that. And I'm leaning towards a player, and I don't like to say to you who it is because, like last year when I did it, I was like, you tell me who you think would win it, and then I'll tell you what I'm thinking. And I was like, yeah, you kind of confirmed what I was thinking basically at the end. So yeah. I'm kind of doing the same thing this year. So, yeah.
Well, there's only been 2 internationals this year.
Yeah.
The first one was Brazil versus Peru on February 22 this year, but it wasn't an officially recognised game.
Okay.
The second one was when Netherlands beat Germany in September. That's the only officially recognised international game this year.
I tell you what, that German dude, he was I know he was on the losing team. But damn, every time he got the ball, it was like, fuck.
Yeah, he was a genuine threat the whole time. So, yeah, that's one to look out for.
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
No, I'll find it for you.
Yeah, but I hope he's got a really cool name.
Yeah. No, it's going to be good. And the good thing is, people will be looking that up for years going, how did this bloke get International Player of the Year? How come he's not playing in the NRL?
Yeah, they will. Because, like, if you look through at that list, and this is the thing I like about that list of players. You can look through and I feel like it's a snapshot of that year and who was their best and what was going on and stuff like that. This one's going to be one where, as you say, people are going to look at it and go like, what the fuck?
Yeah. It's going to be great.
It really will.
Great. Now, we'll wrap this one up. So people, if you want to get in touch with us, we're on LinkedIn and Instagram at FergoFreakPod. You can also find us on YouTube. LinkedIn, Facebook, we're everywhere. Get over there, subscribe, like, all that sort of stuff. That'd be fantastic. We'd love it if you went onto your podcast device and you gave us a 5-star rating and a review. Say something nice and then say something really random. maybe what your favourite yet to be announced Dally M award should be.
That would be cool.
Yeah. What Dally M award should we get? That's dangerous.
No, yeah, don't do that. No, you know what it'd be funny is just say that Luke Brooks ruined the Dally M Awards in 2020. That would be pretty funny if everyone said that.
Don't forget you can go to our website, fergoonthefreak.com. You can go over there and you can leave us a comment, Freaky.
Yeah, go to the contact us section and just send us an email from there. And we'll do a big email reading episode coming up. So get your emails in. Absolutely.
And is there anything else?
We have to thank our wonderful sponsors, manscaped.com. They're actually working on something new, and it's pretty big. I can't say what it is, but we'll be able to reveal what it is in about a week and a half's time.
And you're saying Manscaped's working on something big.
Yeah.
These are my nuts.
Oh, shit.
Boom. Anyways.
They've got some new technology that they're bringing out. That's all I can say. I really shouldn't even say that. So go to manscaped.com. Get yourself the Perfect Package 3.0. It's got everything in it. It's really fantastic, beautiful looking box that it all comes in. It's all packaged up, really nice, and you don't need any more than that, really. So go and do that. Put in our exclusive code for you, which is NRL, 20% off, free shipping. I don't know what more you can ask for, really.
A bow. That's it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, we'd give you a bow, but you know what? We've given you 20% off and free shipping. So use that money you've saved to go and buy yourself a bow.
That's exactly what I would say as well.
There you go. Done. You just go put a bow on that shit and you go fucking bam, gift. I win. Trump that. You can't. Manscaped.com. Get there. Buy some stuff.
Buy all the stuff.
Buy all the stuff.
That's a good ad. I like that advert.
We're great at this. Stay tuned. We've got a few more episodes coming this week too.
Yeah, we've got
some friends coming on.
Yeah, we've got 2 different friends on 2 different days coming on.
Yeah, Freaky's going to be busy.
I really am.
Love it. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, everyone. Congrats, Jack Wighton. And catch you all next time.